Hi children, today we are going to do contractions. Yes, what is contractions? Two words, we shorten it when we read. So we are going to do, it's very interesting. We are going to do contractions, how to do the contraction, then sentence. So we are going to do a little bit of reading. Let's look at our first set of words. Read aloud for me. Can not. What is the first word? Can. What is the next word? Not. Cannot. Yes? Cannot. I cannot come to school today. I cannot go water the garden. I cannot. That is equal to, in contraction, we write and read it as can't. Cannot is read it as, in contraction, can't. I can't go out to play. I have fever. I can't eat my normal food. Let's look at the sentence. What we have here. This is contraction, okay? Now, this is given in red so that you will know what is exactly contraction for cannot. Can't. You see how beautifully given? I can't fly like a bird. You're very disappointed that you can't fly like a bird or like a butterfly. This little boy wants to fly like a bird. I cannot fly like a bird. In contraction, we read and write it as I can't fly like a bird. Good. Shall we take another set of two words? Do the contraction and read the sentence. Look what we have here. Read will not. Will not. I will not be going to school today. I will not be writing my test. I will not be there for your birthday. Will not. Now, will not is equal to, in contraction, we read and write it as won't. Won't. I won't go to school today. I won't do my work. I won't be eating my normal food. I'm not well. I won't. I won't help you. Let's look at the sentence, what we have here. I won't cry like a baby. Telling mommy, mommy, I won't. Look at the contraction given in red. Beautiful, isn't it? I will not cry like a baby. But in contraction, we read it as I won't cry like a baby. I with the baby. I won't cry like a baby. She thinks she's a very big girl. She says, I won't cry like a baby. Yes? Good. Let's look at our next two words. Good? Please read it aloud for me. Do not. Do not. I do not go out when it is dark. I do not go out alone for a walk. And do not is equal to, in contraction, we read and write it as don't. I don't go out alone. I don't go out in the dark. Do not. I do not go out. And in contraction, we read it as don't. Look at the sentence, what we have here. Beautifully given in red. I don't like to fight. Good. That's a very good habit. What is the little boy saying? I don't like to fight. What he really means is, I do not like to fight. Contraction. I don't like to fight. Good. And we learn to read. And you learn to read and write. Contraction. Good. Look at the next set of words. Shall we? Read it aloud for me. Does not. Does not. You can make it short. Does not is equal to doesn't. Does not, in contraction, we write it and read it as doesn't. Doesn't. She doesn't come often here. She doesn't like to eat bread. Let's look at our sentence. All right? Look, he doesn't know to dance. Look, he's trying his best. He, the sentence is, he does not know to dance. But we are doing contraction, not doesn't. We put it doesn't. He doesn't know to dance. So does not is equal to doesn't in contraction. He doesn't know to dance. Good. Shall we take another two words? Good. Let's read the word aloud. Good. Have not. Have not. I have not been coming to the party. I have not. Have not. We can make it short. Have not is equal to, in contraction, look what we have. Read, when you read and write contraction, look very carefully. Have not is written as haven't. Haven't. Have not, contraction, haven't. I haven't a pencil to write. I haven't a pair of shoes to go to school. Let's look at the sentence, what we have here. I haven't drunk my milk. I have not drunk my milk. Use short form. Contraction is, I haven't drunk my milk, says the little girl. I haven't drunk my milk. Good. Let's take another two words. Read it for me loud. Did not. Did not. You can shorten. You can read and write. Did not as contraction. Did not is equal to didn't. I didn't do that. I didn't tell a lie. I didn't come to school yesterday. I didn't submit my book. Let's look at our sentence. Didn't. Did not. You read it as didn't. Look. Ria didn't cut her hair. Ria didn't cut her hair. Didn't. Did not. You read it as Ria did not cut her hair. Contraction. We read it as Ria didn't cut her hair. Good. Let's take another set of words. Good. Look here. Had not. Good. Had not. Had not. We can write it in short form. Had not is equal to hadn't. I hadn't been coming to school. I hadn't been reading my storybook. I hadn't. Look at the sentence we have. Contraction, hadn't. I hadn't washed my clothes. I had not washed my clothes. But we have the contraction here. Look very carefully, beautifully put in red. I hadn't washed my clothes. I hadn't washed my clothes. Good. Let's look at another two words. Look what we have here. Read for me. Could not. Could not is equal to, in contraction, couldn't. What is it? Couldn't. Could not. I could not attend your birthday party. I couldn't attend your birthday party. Yes, let's look at the sentence. What we have here. Anne couldn't do her work. It was very difficult maybe, or maybe she is sick. Anne could not do her work. Contraction. Anne couldn't do her work. Anne couldn't do her work. So she's struggling here. Good. Shall we look at another two words? Good. Read aloud for me. has not. Has not, you can write in contraction as has not is equal to hasn't. Hasn't. The postman hasn't been coming for a long time. My friend hasn't returned to my storybook. Hasn't. The sun hasn't come up yet. Let's read the sentence. What we have here, has not is written as, in contraction, hasn't. Look at the sentence. Peter hasn't done the work. Peter has not done the work. In contraction, we read it as Peter hasn't done the work. Hasn't. Good. Shall we look at another two words? Look. Read aloud. Is not. You read it as isn't. Yes. In contraction, is not is equal to isn't. Is not is equal to isn't. In contraction. Isn't. She isn't been giving up her book. She isn't being reading. Let's look at the sentence we have. The cat isn't sleeping. The cat isn't sleeping. Then what is the cat doing? Looking, sitting there staring. The cat is not sleeping. In contraction, we read and write it as the cat isn't sleeping. Good. Let's look at another two words. Read loud for me. Are not. Are not. In contraction, we read and write it as are not is equal to aren't. Aren't. We aren't been receiving the letters. Aren't. They aren't coming today. Let's look at the sentence we have. Contraction, aren't. The monkeys aren't happy. The monkeys are not happy. Contraction, we read it as the monkeys aren't happy. Good.